I want to get straight into the video, but one thing before we do, please take everything I say with a grain of salt. I hit GC back in Season 4 after free to play, and I've been here every season since. So I feel like I have a little bit of credibility in terms of speaking about this topic. Some would even call me hardstuck GC, but it is what it is. With that being said, what worked for me when I was climbing may or may not work for you now. This is purely my take on how I would tell somebody, like a friend, how they could get GC. This take is based solely off of my past experiences and a culmination of all the improvement videos I would watch back then and what I learned from them. This video will be broken down into 3 simple steps, and it'll be wrapped up with a few extra tips towards the end. Make sure you stay tuned so you don't miss them. Alright, you got that? Cool. Let's get straight into it then. Now, before we even decide to drive onto the pitch, I need you to answer this question for me. You have to take everything into account here. The time you have available to spend playing the game, the time you're willing to spend on the game. Are you more of a mechanical player? Are you more reliant on game sense? Etc. Keep all of that in mind when answering this question. Do you want to simply reach GC? Or do you want to become a GC player? Depending on which one you choose, you'll be taking slightly different paths. And honestly, that's pretty much it for step 1. So, you just want to be able to see that shiny red rank on your screen. That's a completely valid goal. This is exactly what my goal was when I first started grinding Rocket League. Now, the way that I would advise you to pursue this goal is to play in a way that you rely more on your game sense. If you're naturally gifted with mechanics, then feel free to use them whenever needed. For those who aren't so fortunate, like myself, the way that I went about ranking up to GC was purely relying on my game sense. I didn't want to be in free play grinding flip resets or double taps or musty flicks. All I did when training was practice my fundamental skills. These skills being my shooting accuracy, shooting power, dribbling on the ground, flicking, and so on. Things that you wouldn't normally consider flashy, but they were necessary for being able to keep up with the rest of the lobby. Those skills are what I recommend working on. When it comes to the actual gameplay, I'd highly recommend playing around your teammates. It can be pretty annoying to not be able to play your own playstyle depending on the teammate that you have, but from my experience, becoming the fill player, where you essentially do what your teammate isn't doing, is where I found the most success in the lower ranks. That's just what you have to do sometimes. If your teammate is playing very aggressively, you have to play more defensively and let him ball chase in a way, and same thing vice versa. One big tip for when you're playing safer around your teammate is to always be able to get back in time before the opponents go for a counterattack. Feel free to go for solo plays, but just make sure that you can recover fast enough in case your teammates decide to just full dive and get beat, leaving your opponents with a wide open net. Other than that, you just gotta cue them games. For you guys who want to actually become a GC player, I know it sounds a little contradicting to what you normally do, but what I'd recommend doing is just completely forget about your rank. All you're going to want to do is solely focus on yourself. You want to be pushing yourself and testing your limits, then absolutely crushing them. You're going to be playing the complete opposite of how I explained in the previous step. You want to be jumping up for as many balls as you can, testing what you can and what you can't do in each scenario. You still want to focus and work on the fundamental skills stated earlier, but also feel free to work on other skills that'll increase your outplay potential. Essentially, you want to get close to the point where you can pretty much just carry the game by yourself. I personally don't have much experience when doing this on my way up to GC. I only started adopting this mindset after I hit GC and realized that my game sense alone wasn't really going to help me get any farther. The downside of taking this path is that you'll have to dedicate a lot of time into the game, since the difference between merely reaching a rank is vastly different than making that rank your new baseline, which is essentially what you're going to be doing when taking this path. Last but not least, you just have to queue. Unfortunately, there's no way around reaching GC without devoting at least some of your time and effort. If someone tells you otherwise, I don't really think they're very trustworthy. With that being said, you can still play less than some people and still hit GC just by playing off of your game sense, as stated in step 2A. Alright, and to wrap things up, here are a few extra tips I'll leave you guys with as you're on your journey to hit GC. Tip 1. This goes out especially to those who are trying to become an actual GC player. Play ones. I know it's annoying at times, but ones is where you'll have the most time on the ball. You'll be the one responsible for everything that goes on in that game. And there will also be more to look at when reviewing your games. Tip number 2, make sure you also work on your defense. Although people say a strong offense is a strong defense, it's still nice to be able to pull off some saves. And personally, I feel like it's pretty underrated. Tip number 3, get comfortable on low boost. Even I myself fall victim to this. I'm always rushing back to my half of the field to grab 100 boost, when in reality, you don't need to. If you get used to the boost pathing for pads, or even just knowing how to move around the field on low boost, can be pretty impactful in your games if applied correctly. Now, these last 2 tips are my personal favorites. Tip number 4, review your games. Just like playing ones, I know it can be annoying, it can be quite boring actually, but reviewing your games literally allows you to see what you're doing wrong. You can write down what you did wrong, what you should improve on next. Even if you don't write anything down, just being able to see what you've done wrong will cause yourself to be aware of that issue and try to fix it in your next session. Another cool thing about reviewing your games is you can watch how you play from your opponent's perspective, which can help you understand the game to an even deeper level. And lastly, my absolute favorite, tip number 5, always take accountability. And yes, there are going to be times where you genuinely couldn't have done anything different and something bad still happens. I get it. That will happen. And that's okay. It's just bound to be. But 90 to 95% of the times, there is still something maybe you did 20 seconds ago or 10 seconds ago that caused the following sequence to occur. I feel like that is an underrated way of thinking on how to improve in Rocket League. Picture this, maybe your teammate whiffed a save on the goal line. Sure, he technically whiffed it. Let's say there was a 50 before that you had to take, and you didn't really take it the best that you could have, and it caused you to overcommit, and now your teammate's stuck in a 2v1. Sure, it's his fault for not saving the goal, but I feel like there's something that you yourself could have done differently to prevent that from happening. And I also really like this tip because it helps you build this mindset of always improving. Regardless if the fault is completely on you or on your teammate or a bit of both, I feel like it helps develop this train of thought that immediately when you get scored on, you think back to the entire play before the goal happened. Not just, the 3 seconds leading up to the goal. You think of everything that happened and what could have been different. And that allows you to have more material to watch, review, and improve upon. All right, that was a bit of a yap sesh. I know this video was a little bit different than the usual gameplay commentary that I do, but I've been thinking about making this video for a while now, and I finally came around to doing so. And yeah, I just felt like sharing my take on how I would help somebody who's at a lower rank reach GC, or if I had to hit GC all over again, I would probably just do exactly what I said in step 2A. Just simply reaching GC purely off of game sense and just focusing on the fundamentals. But yeah, I appreciate you all. I hope at least a few of you were able to grab something valuable out of this video. That would be enough for me. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And good luck grinding out there. I hope the ranked jungle treats you well. Stay safe out there. Much love.